I thought I had the angle, and I tried to adjust it. Oh no. Then I'm trying to look at it upside down. I need more space, dude. That's what it is. It's not the angle, it's the space. Right? Okay, so we got Ray. There's a couple things I'm going to try to talk about. One doesn't really have anything to do with her, and that's engagement on your walks, because I'm having problems with other ones. So they would probably be better to show, but she happens to be the one here when it's on my head. Now what does pertain to her is she gets excited with stuff and acts kind of wacky, right? So I know when I first went over and was working with them, we tried to do like the doorbell turns into like, you can go bark once, but you can't go too much, right? So the bark, and then we disrupt it and send her to the bed, right? And I think it got pretty good. Now, here's one thing I always tell people. How many times of that does it take for that to become the habit for the dog? A bunch, right? And if you don't set up a bunch of actual training sessions with it, then it kind of stays novel, right? So it's hard. But once you get it pretty good, even though it becomes novel, you don't have to keep practicing it, right? Once you get it pretty good, where you can get pretty good control over, and she's really good with verbal control now. So they did good keeping up with a lot of stuff, and she's been really good, like anytime she's here. So, but with the baby, she's done really good. The baby's now almost 2, but there's still the exciting times where they're makes them kind of nervous, which is understandable, because the dog gets kind of wacky, is barking, freaking out. You don't know what they're gonna do. But that's where your bed, I believe we use go to bed for them. So that's where your bed or your place comes into play, right? So she's a right side walker. So then there's engagement, right? And then also the exercise. I've told people to do this, like work at home people, and it probably comes into play with like her mom and dad, because now they have a baby. So can they get out for 30 or 45 minutes and do their exercise for Sunday morning? Probably not. So what I have told people though is get out and do, if you can do at least the intense exercise that the dog needs, right? Ideally you do the intense exercise and then you go do your walk, right? And some dogs you don't even need intense exercise. But what happened with her today is I had the daycare coming, so it made me think about this. So I got her out, but it wasn't enough time to do her full exercise. So we came out and we did her intense part and then put her up, right? So say baby usually gets up certain time, or you have to do the feeding. I don't know how that works. Get her out 15 minutes before that, go in the back, fetch. Then, so the problem with not being able to then settle them down is if the dog hasn't learned to settle down. I think she's learned to settle down pretty good. Some dogs, when you play and then just go inside, they're still in that woo, and that's bad for with the baby, right? Or with little ones. I mean, it's a baby in her case, but any little ones. So anyways, ideally you have the time to intense exercise and then slow her down, get her calmed down, and then go inside. Now what you can do, if you don't have time for both of those, exercise her, throw her in the crate, right? I've only got 15 minutes. I've only got 10 to 12 minutes. Fetch, throw her in the crate, let her calm down in the crate. That's the other option for doing that, right? And so then getting into the engagement stuff with you, right? Play and doing structured play, like using her obedience during play. That is practice for her listening to what you want while she's aroused, right? So if you're doing structured play, like not just always fetching, like have her sit, have her down, have her do her stay, have her do all that little stuff while she's jacked up and wanting to do it, right? Or wanting to play. Because now she's practicing listening to you in those aroused moments. That's going to help carry over to those other times. Now, if you're never practicing during play, whenever she's aroused, her having to listen to you in those aroused states, stays novel, right? It's kind of like the doorbell thing, stays novel for most people because a lot of people don't practice the doorbell thing. So that's the arousal engagement is structured play, right? And then here we're gonna go right heel, right? And you can do one of two things here. Negative reinforcement is just keep going. The pressure comes on and she has to come, right? Ready, heel. Good girl. And then now food, right? Rewards that in your heel drills, right? The other thing I could have done when she's trying, why is she eating the grass right there so bad? Does that grass right there taste especially good? Right, the other thing you can do there is you can correct it out. It depends on what you want to do, right? You can just walk off negative reinforcement. That pressure is from her not paying attention. Then it releases, yeah, good girl, right? So then say you wanted to correct it out. She's down in that grass. You're gonna come down and you can go, boop, just like that, right? I could be really soft right there because she wasn't really intense into it. You gotta do whatever energy she's putting into it. If she's like, trying to eat the grass, you gotta be a little firmer, right? Generally, you can go super soft, right? So then let's see. Oh, and then the other part about exercise. Did I say that? Ideally, so what happens when you exercise and you just do intense exercise, put up and come back later, they don't really come all the way down in their energy. So they're staying kind of halfway. If you can't give them the full 30, 45 minutes to an hour, whatever the dog needs. If you don't do the full session, they're not getting fully relaxed. So the rest of your day is gonna kind of be that way. You're gonna have to work it a little more. Now again, reality dictates what we can do with our dogs, right? Right? So a dog at half energy is much better than a dog inside at full energy, right? Just trying to get the food, I think it was. What's your name? Ready to go to bed? So this is kind of new to her because even at home it's a regular dog bed, right? This is, what I should have done is walked her across it a few times. I mean, she's seen it inside the house. It's not laying down the whole time. Really into this grass, right? Ready, let's go. What is it about the grass right there? Huh? Right? So I am big on, if you have to rework it, because we haven't been practicing, I'm big on use the food, right? Use the bait, bribe, whatever everybody wants to call it. Ready, go to bed? Good. Right? At least on a couple, right? You get a couple good ones, then you can go back off the bait and make it back into a reward. Break. Right? And I've got her on the wrong side. She walks pretty good no matter what side we have her on. Oops. Right? And you want to do the bed from different directions once you get it going. Ready? Go to bed. Good. Right? And you should practice some of these, right? Good. I had my hand in my pocket before I marked. Break. Right? So to the engagement thing. Now we talked about engagement when it's arousal time. Now engagement when you're calm time, like say you're out on a walk, right? I think she's a pretty good walker now. Good girl, right? So say you go heel and you turn and she doesn't turn, you can once again do one of two things. You can either use the negative reinforcement, which means she's not paying attention to you and she hits the least pressure and you just keep going, and then the pressure releases and then she feels better, right? Or you can use your correction. I usually go by the level of what's going on with the people. Ideally, we're using the negative reinforcement with the positive reinforcement to start, right? If you have to correct, heel. If she doesn't turn, down low, to the side. Good girl. Get a couple steps, mark, rewards. And sit. You're such a good girl. Right? So now you have calm engagement. Say you're walking. A lot of people like to use a lot of food when they walk. I usually like to use a lot of food in the heel drills, right? Now once I say heel a couple times, I'll drop the verbal because now I want them to just be following me, right? Good girl, right? So initially I'll go heel, good, mark and reward. And then eventually I stop saying heel and I just turn, good, mark and reward, right? Let's see what else. You have outside turns, which means the dog's on your outside, right? You have inside turns, which means the dog's on the inside. You can use a little bit of, you just kind of touch the leash, hold them back. I've seen one guy, he kicks his foot out to get in front. All right, it's kind of awkward, so that's hard for people to do. It's much easier just to use your leash pressure. She's used to the right side. If you don't care about your dog switching, let them switch as long as it's behind you. You don't want it in front of you because you take the chance of tripping. If you let the dog walk in front of you, then it doesn't matter. Ready, down? She's not doing it. Hand motion. Good girl. Me personally, I don't care how ugly it is, right? Like some people would be like, well, you had to use your hand motion, so don't reward it. Me personally, I don't care. Ready, let's go. And one highly regarded dude, he says that when you start doing that, the dog doesn't understand. The dog doesn't understand the difference. That's the way I was taught though. When you get to a certain point, you can start, ready, go to bed? If you want it to always be a down, then require it. Little spatial pressure, stepping forward. Oh. Just get her back in it, good. See, going for the food made her mess up, right? And break. What was I talking about? Oh, once you get to a certain point, only rewarding good ones. That's a good girl. And sit and stay. This is a short one, so we're gonna get a drink of water to make it a duration. Now, I think with her, I'm having a hard time her staying in the sit. Good. Very nice. Break. Oh. Right. So, see how they do you? I said I've been having problems with that with her, and she was perfect. Maybe we worked it out, right? A lot of times, when you approach, they'll break. I usually just put them back in it. Sometimes I do another rep. All right, ready, go to bed? Try a different. Right, so look, if all you want is her to be on it, you can reward this good girl. It all depends on what you want, right? Do you want them just to go on it, or do you want them to be fully laid down? I would say, if we're worried about the arousal state, I would always have them in a down. Because if you get them in a down, they're more turned off. Whereas in a sit, they're kind of halfway ready to go. Right? Break. Good job. I think this has been long enough, right? Let's go walk around the corner. See if you gotta go poo-poo again. You're such a sweet thing. He's a little wiggle butt. He's a little wiggle butt.